Hey guys, it's Dylan. Today we're going to go over a couple of things. First thing is a new strategy that I actually just recently came across to help progress at a safe rate that's kind of helping to lessen my chance of injuring myself during workouts. That is called the 10% rule. And the other things we're going to go over today are warning signs of injuries that you could incur while you're working out. And then the other thing is some real quick, at-home treatment that you can do prior to getting to a doctor. Now, this 10% rule, it's an easy way to gauge your training increases to get the most from your workouts while reducing your chance of getting injured. Now, if you're new to exercise, the first thing that you want to do is get into your doctor and get clearance before you start any kind of weight training program. This is especially important if you have any health issues, or maybe you haven't been seen in a while, and not quite sure of what your health status is. So it's always a good idea to go check with your doctor before you start a weight exercise program. Increasing the intensity, the time, or type of exercise you do too quickly, it's probably one of the most common reasons that injuries occur when working out. Now, this sets a limit on your increases during your training. The guideline simply, it's that you should increase your activity, or in our case, your weight, no more than 10% per week. That includes your intensity, the amount of weight you're lifting, and the time of your exercise. Okay, as an example, say you're doing 50 pounds on your curls 1 week, and so your 10% increase would be 5 pounds the following week. So that gives you a general, basis of how that works. Now, if you're a beginner, 10% might be too much. Try 5%, and maybe that will work for you. For others, 10% may be too little. For me, I know that some exercises, 10% is a sufficient increase. It gets me up to the next level. But like when I'm doing my calf raises or my squats or something like that, 10% doesn't make a significant enough gain for me to push my muscles to the next level. So, if you're experiencing any aches and pains when you're doing these increases, it probably means that you're increasing too much. Try stepping it down a little bit and try that. Now, most sports injuries that need attention, they have some very common warning signs and symptoms. Now, acute sports injuries, those are obvious. Those are the obvious ones, and they occur in a pretty dramatic way. You'll know. But other injuries, they can creep up on you, and they'll slowly, progressively get worse. And now, if you pay attention to the warning signs of both types of injuries, you can often heal more quickly and avoid ending up with a really serious injury. Now, here's some injury warning signs that you really don't want to ignore. Joint pain. Joint pains in your knees, ankles, elbows, and wrists should never be ignored. Now, these joints, they're not covered by muscle, so when you have pain here, it's rarely of a muscular origin. Joint pain that lasts for more than 48 hours should be seen by your doctor. Tenderness at a specific point. Now, if you can cause pain at a specific point in a bone, muscle, or joint by pressing your finger into it, you might have a significant injury. Now, if the same spot on the other side of your body doesn't produce the same pain, go have it checked out by your doctor. Swelling. Nearly all sports injuries cause swelling. Now, it's usually pretty obvious and it can be seen, but occasionally you might feel as though something is swollen even though it looks normal to you. Now, swelling goes hand in hand with pain, redness, and heat, but swelling within a joint can often cause pain, stiffness, and it might produce a clicking sound, which is the tendons that are snapping over each other after they've been pushed into a position from the swelling. Reduced range of motion. If swelling isn't obvious, you can usually find it by checking for a reduced range of motion. If there's significant swelling within a joint, you will lose range of motion. The limb will only go so far in each direction. Again, you want to compare one side of the body with the other to identify the major differences between the two. If there are any, you most likely have an injury that needs attention. Comparative weakness. Comparing one side to the other for weakness isn't the most easiest thing to do, but it can be helpful when assessing your injury. One way to tell is to lift the same weight with the right and left arm and look at the result. Or try to place your body weight on one leg and then the other. A difference in your ability to support your weight, that's another tip-off to an injury that requires attention. Numbness and tingling. Never ignore numbness or tingling. These sensations are often related to nerve compression, and these warning signs may indicate serious injury, and that should always be seen by your doctor. Now, if you recognize any of these warning signs, the goal is to prevent any further damage. Now, the best way to do this is to stop all your activity, stop your workout, and you want to begin treatment immediately. Don't let the problem get any worse, and don't let the swelling continue. You want to look for an obvious cause of the injury, possibly poor form, progressing your weights too quickly, etc. Now, the first treatment that you want to do with any acute injury is to reduce any swelling that's occurred by using the RICE treatment. RICE. That stands for rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Now, the one thing that you definitely do not want to do is to apply heat to an injury, because the heat's going to increase the blood flow to that area, and that's going to increase your swelling. So here's immediate injury treatment, step by step. Follow these steps in this order to get the best results. You want to stop the activity immediately. Don't go any further with your workout. Just stop right where you are. You want to wrap the injured part in a compression bandage. Compression bandages, what that's going to do is going to help the swelling from increasing. You want to apply ice to the injured part, and you can do this by using a bag of crushed ice or a bag of frozen vegetables like, say, peas or corn. And you don't want to do this for more than 15 minutes at a time. You want to let the area warm completely before applying your ice again. This is going to prevent frostbite. Elevate the injured part to reduce the swelling. What this does is it causes the blood flow to go back down towards your heart and away from the injured area. And most importantly, get to a doctor for proper diagnosis of any serious injury. Alright guys, well that's it for this installment. I hope you find the information very helpful. It's good to know what kind of things to look out for and how to take care of them, because with the type of workouts that we like to do, the potential for getting hurt, it's pretty high. So I hope it's all useful for you. I hope that it helps you to have more safe and effective workouts. Again, if you have any questions regarding any of the stuff that I put out on the series, please put them down in the comments. I'll get to them as fast as I possibly can, and hopefully we'll take care of your questions. So until then, have a great workout. Be safe. We'll see you soon.